Apes are distant cousins of humans. We share 99% of the same DNA, so it's really no surprise that we have so many similarities. But their unpredictable behavior, incredible strength, and need for a social hierarchy means you should never keep them as pets. Chimpanzees are known to be very playful and affectionate as babies, just like puppies are. However, once they reach a mature age, around 5 years old, things can change quickly. Many captive chimps have turned on their owners, sometimes leading to life-altering attacks, including facial damage, loss of limbs, and in some cases, even loss of sight.
Down for 911.
Send the police!
What's the problem?
The chimp killed my friend! He ripped their face off, please! He killed her, please!
As chilling as that call is, Charla Nash, who was attacked by a pet chimpanzee named Travis, somehow managed to survive. Today we'll look at some of the most unsettling ape attacks and teach you how to survive them. We'll also find out what caused Travis the chimp to finally snap. Why should you never make eye contact with a gorilla? And what should you do if you're attacked by a gang of apes? Before we swing into this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more unbelievable survival stories. Sandra Harold of Connecticut bought Travis the chimp for $50,000 when he was just 3 days old. From the first day Sandra brought him home, she treated him like a newborn. She fed him formula from a bottle, laid him down for naps, brushed his teeth, and even dressed him up. Eventually, Travis learned to be independent like a young child. He would open cabinets to get a snack and even unlock doors with keys. Like humans, chimps have great memories and can reason between good and bad decisions. But sometimes, natural instinct wins over logic. Physically, they're very different from us. Standing upright, a chimp can tower up to 1.7 meters and weigh 70 kilograms. When they're fully mature, they're 5 times stronger than a human. They can also stand up for themselves when bullied, like Travis did when he was 8 years old. One evening while out for a drive, a pedestrian threw a soda can into the back of the family car where Travis was sitting. In response, he unbuckled himself and jumped out in an angry rage to chase the culprit. This was the first of 2 outbursts. The second one was much more severe for everyone involved. In February of 2009, Travis was acting more agitated than usual, possibly due to the effects of Lyme disease, which he was being treated for at the time. Sandra decided to give him a Xanax to calm him down, but that wasn't enough. As a fully grown ape weighing over 100 kilograms, which is more than the average chimp weight because he was living in captivity, Travis was now very powerful and hard to control. Sandra called her friend Charla Nash to help soothe Travis's nerves. However, once Charla arrived, things took a dark turn. At this point, Travis was on Sandra's front lawn, running between her cars. That is, until he laid eyes on Charla. It's unclear why, but Travis charged toward her, slamming her against her car before throwing her to the ground. Travis began attacking Charla in a fit of rage. Sandra grabbed a shovel and started fighting back, but this didn't stop him. As he continued to attack Charla, Sandra ran inside her house and grabbed a butcher knife. Shaken with fear, she stabbed Travis multiple times. That got his attention. Sandra jumped into her car and called 911.
Shoot him, please! I tried stabbing him, and he's hurt now too, so he's gonna attack anybody. I can't get out of this car.
Once police arrived, Travis ran to the cruiser and opened the door. As the officer attempted to reach for his gun, Travis was staring at him, flashing his teeth.
The chimpanzee's mouth and upper area of his body was coated with blood, and the officer was left with no alternative but to pull his sidearm, and he shot the chimpanzee numerous times rapidly at a very, very close distance.
Charla was found lifeless on the front lawn, sadly disfigured from the attack. Over the next few days, Charla had more than 7 hours of surgery on her face and hands alone. It took a team of 4 surgeons, some of whom needed counseling afterward to deal with the trauma of what they saw. Unfortunately, Charla lost her sight after getting an infection from Travis after the attack. Chimps are incredibly strong, thanks to their fast-twitch muscle fibers, which humans lack. That is what helps them to climb trees quickly. To make matters worse, they've got very sharp and powerful bites. Always keep your distance from them. If a chimp attacks you, your best bet is to stab it or shoot it. If neither of those options are available, do your best to prevent the chimp from biting you. Shove your shirt or clothing in its mouth. Try to kick it off of you, whatever it takes. Of course, my advice is very different if you're being attacked by a gang of chimps, but we'll touch on that in a bit.
You know, many people around the world want to get a picture of you. You're aware of that, right?
Thankfully, despite life-altering injuries, Charla was able to survive her attack. A few years after the attack, Charla would have more surgeries to replace both of her hands and to get a face transplant. Although her body rejected the new hands, the face transplant was a success. Still, Charla doesn't see the setback as a negative. She maintains a positive outlook on her situation, given all that she's been through.
I've come a long way. I never thought I'd do it like this. Now I'm ready. I want to ride horses again.
Since the attack, Charla is doing her best to live her life independently and advocates for laws restricting people from keeping primates as pets. A chimp attack can happen to anyone, anywhere. Although they're already illegal in most states, their rapid growth and unpredictability should also deter anyone from trying to keep one as a pet. Our next victim was simply trying to learn more about them before he experienced the greatest nightmare of his life.
It was horrific. It was by far the worst animal attack I've ever seen. You just shouldn't be here anymore after all of that.
Andrew OBERLE was always interested in chimps and decided to dedicate his life to learning more about them. Writing his master's thesis on chimpanzee tool use, he made his way to South Africa to volunteer and conduct research at the Jane Goodall Institute. Also known as Chimp Eden, the Institute is the first and only chimp sanctuary in South Africa. Even though Andrew felt he had built a connection with the chimps, it was clear they didn't feel the same way. Chimps tend to move in groups, sometimes attacking neighboring chimps to take over land, resources, and possibly even mates. They're very territorial and will attack other animals, including humans, if they get too close to their home. While leading a tour, Andrew entered into a restricted area, crossing one of the two fences separating the animals from the public.
Two adult male chimpanzees apparently became angry, grabbing OBERLE and dragging him halfway under the barrier as he fought desperately to stop them. The animals pushed OBERLE away from the fence, using the opening to escape.
But the attack didn't stop there. After the escape, the chimps dragged Andrew 30 meters to a public area and continued the attack. The chimps were biting and pulling him apart. Andrew was only saved by a staff member who shot one of the chimps, causing both of them to retreat to their enclosure. Andrew was rushed to the hospital where he endured 6 hours of surgery. Sadly, he was disfigured from head to toe. It's a miracle he survived. Andrew was put into a medically induced coma and underwent 26 surgeries over 2 weeks.
I remember waking up in the hospital in South Africa, kind of looking up and opening my eyes, and I saw my mom and my dad just kind of leaning over the bed, kind of with big wide eyes.
Doctors had to build Andrew a new nose. They also had to make prosthetics for his hand and leg, which were too damaged to repair. After a long process of rehabilitation, Andrew fully recovered and has since been thriving. In 2015, he helped create the OBERLE Institute at St. Louis University, a trauma care program that helps victims heal from traumatic experiences. He also completed his master's and got another degree in health administration. And he didn't stop there. Andrew found love, got married, and had 2 daughters. In 2021, he completed his first marathon in over a decade. It's safe to say he won't be slowing down anytime soon. If you ever find yourself in an attack similar to Andrew's, you may want to say your prayers. Surviving an attack from a single chimp is difficult enough to do. If a gang of them are attacking you, your odds of survival are slim to none. The only advice I can give you is not to go anywhere near a gang of chimps. They'll have no problem defending themselves if they feel threatened. Good luck. Now, chimps are super dangerous, but imagine what it's like to be attacked by a gorilla. Silverback gorillas are the largest of the apes, on average weighing 195 kilograms and standing 1.5 meters tall. And like chimps, they are not to be messed with. 57-year-old Dutch woman Petronella Yvonne de Hoorde learned this all too well. As a regular visitor to the Rotterdam Zoo, she developed a close bond with a large gorilla named BOKITO. Or so she thought. She even had pictures and videos of the gorilla from when he was 4 months old at a zoo in Germany before his transfer to the Netherlands.
Yesterday, the gorilla turned Blijdorp Zoo upside down when he escaped. A woman, seriously injured by BOKITO, has been released from intensive care.
Her first mistake was making eye contact with the 180-kilogram, 11-year-old gorilla. That's a recipe for disaster, as gorillas, especially males, are all about social hierarchy. If you look one in the eye, you're asking it to fight you. Given their size, it's not surprising that gorillas are strong. They can lift 10 times their body weight. In BOKITO's case, that'd be about 1,800 kilograms. To top it off, they have razor-sharp canine teeth and a bite force of 1,300 psi. That's more powerful than a polar bear. Speaking of teeth, according to Petronella, she would smile at BOKITO and he would smile back. Or would he? Experts say he wasn't smiling, he was showing off his chompers as a threat. On the day of the attack, reports claimed that children were throwing rocks at the gorilla, which may have enraged him. Rather than get his revenge on the kids, he wanted to show Petronella who was in charge. She was standing by the small apes in the Africa section when she heard a thud behind her. When she turned around, there was BOKITO. With nowhere to go, he gripped her and sat on her with his full weight, then began biting her. It's unclear how BOKITO escaped his enclosure since he was surrounded by a 4-meter-wide body of water, and gorillas can't naturally swim. Experts think he either jumped over the water or defied the odds by swimming and climbing the wall. While BOKITO was dragging Petronella and biting her, other zoogoers tried to shelter themselves in a nearby restaurant. Unfortunately for them, BOKITO broke into the diner and injured 3 more people before being tranquilized and returned to his enclosure. Of all those injured, Petronella had it the worst. BOKITO left her with severe bite marks, a broken arm, and a broken wrist. So, if it isn't obvious enough, avoid eye contact with gorillas. And if they're flashing their teeth at you, try to show them that you're not a threat. Get as low as possible and slowly back away. The same goes if they charge toward you. As Lil Jon would say, get low. This will make you look submissive and non-threatening. Okay, so we know how scary gorillas and chimps can be, but what about orangutans? Well, they aren't nearly as dangerous or as powerful, but if you're trying to go viral on social media, they can certainly help. This was the case for Hassan Al-Arifan, a 19-year-old looking to gain online fame. And he got what he wanted, just not how he expected. Compared to other apes, orangutans aren't as likely to attack humans, but under the right circumstances, they'll try to grab a hold of you, and that wouldn't be fun. With their long arms and ability to grab things with both their hands and feet, orangutans have incredible grip strength up to 270 kilograms. They have very sharp teeth, and with a bite force of 575 psi, they eat tree bark and nuts regularly. Just imagine what they could do to your flesh. Getting back to Hassanal, while visiting a zoo in Indonesia, he decided to hop over a fence and taunt the caged ape. And let me tell you, he regretted that decision pretty quickly. That footage would go viral on Twitter, getting over 17 million views. The story was featured on TMZ and the New York Post. Hassanal was freed after someone alerted the zoo staff, who were eventually able to get the orangutan to calm down. Fortunately for Hassanal, not too much damage was done, but as you can imagine, he was kicked out of the zoo and called various names on social media. It doesn't appear that there's been a single orangutan-related human death. Orangutans fear us and try to keep their distance. I don't blame them. They're critically endangered due to our destruction of their habitat. So if you see one in the wild, keep your distance. They likely won't approach you, but if they do, don't let them get close. If one grabs you, good luck getting free. You'll need some serious strength to pull that off. Now, if it isn't obvious enough, let me clarify. Apes are not meant to be pets. They're very tough to care for and are capable of carrying life-threatening diseases like Ebola and monkeypox. If you're ever in ape territory, be aware of your surroundings. Listen to your local guide, and most importantly, don't make eye contact, especially with a gorilla. These rules go for almost any animal you find out in the wild, like those other furry tree climbers, bears, who can be just as territorial and won't hesitate to kill you. Want to know more? Check out our list of the world's deadliest bears. You'll be shocked to see how aggressive some of them really are. But don't worry, we'll also show you how to survive those encounters when possible. We'll see you next time, right here on How to Survive.